Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, has directed its affiliates members and indeed all workers in the country to immediately shut down the economy if the Nigerian police arrest the Congress President, Comrade Joe Ajaero. Now, recall that the police had on Monday, invited the NLC President to its headquarters for questioning over the allegation of involvement in terrorism, financing, amongst others. Now, the development led to the convocation of emergency National Executive Council meeting at the Labour House, where the Congress resolved to write to the police for extension of time to enable it to consult with its lawyers, briefing the workers who had assembled at the Labour House in solidarity with the Congress President. And to follow him to the police headquarters, the NLC Deputy President, Kabiru Adosani, said that the invitation to Ajaero was invitation to workers. According to him, at the end of the meeting, we reached some certain resolutions. Part of the resolution is that as a committed labor center that we agreed or that we abide by the rule of law and due process. We will honor the invitation of the Nigerian police because we are not a faceless organization, but we believe that we need an extension of time. After consultation with our lawyers, because this invitation was extended to the Congress President yesterday, that was a Monday, and asked to report at the police by 10 a.m. on Tuesday. We are already working with our lawyers to look for an extension of time, but this does not legitimize the charges by the Nigerian police to the Congress leadership. And secondly, we resolved that in an event our Congress President was arrested or detained at any moment, if this happens, they have, should I say they have threatened now to put out affiliate. All right, to put their affiliate on red alert to mobilize their members across the country, that all workers in this country should down to their services. This is the resolution because this organization belongs to all of us, in their words, and I'm quoting. Therefore, we should do everything possible to safeguard the safety of the organization. We therefore thank you very much, and all of that was said. Whatever happens, we'll communicate with your leadership, and this is them talking to their members now. Let's get your thoughts on this, Alfred. You know that even from what I have stated earlier, the Joe Ajaero, President of NLC, was invited by the police, even though the NLC are alleging that it could be related with the protests in one way or the other because of what they must have said to the police when they talked down on some of the activities that happened during the protest. And they're saying, oh, that's probably the reason why they are inviting Joe Ajaero and putting up criminal cases against him. But let's get your thoughts on this one.
Now, Joe Ajaero is the face of Nigeria Labour Congress nationwide. This is the first time or the only time I have seen where the president of NLC will be beaten up. He was beaten black and blue in Imo State, and the event that culminated to all of that cannot be preempted or diverted from what is happening now. Now, when they went to raid the NLC building, they said they were in search of someone else and not Ajaero. Now, how come it is Ajaero they are now looking for? They raided the NLC building, they carted away with documents, books, and now he's on their wanted list. Now, Ajaero is the face of NLC nationwide. Now, there's still a tendency that when the police invite you, you are not coming back. So, NLC is on the red alert that if Ajaero does not come back, there will be a total shutdown globally. Now, they've spread their tentacles, and they are so sophisticated when it comes to auto training, when it has to do with media and all of that. So much that with the swing of an arm, they will actually shut down this economy. Why? They have other parent organizations that they partner with. And with this, if Algeria does not come back, they will make sure that the economy is going to shut down. And do you know what it means when an economy is shut down over a period of time? For every hour that surpasses, we are losing in billions.
True.
So Algeria should be handled with all amount of care. This is not the NLC that Adams Oshomole was in charge of. When Adams Oshomole was there, this can't happen. Is it that Algeria is not being proactive, or he's not talking enough, that he should be treated this way?
Or you feel he's not being proactive?
Yes, he's not proactive enough. We must not play politics with everything in Nigeria. NLC is the only union I've seen that will come up with a resolution and they will go down the drain over a period of time.
Was that during Algeria's time? Because we know that reports had it before, that's during the previous leaderships when NLC would say they're going on a strike. And then after a night, Nigerians would say the next morning they'll come and say, oh, we have resolved it with the government. But we look at the minimum wage, they followed it till the end.
Now, looking at this now, it's very, very laughable that NLC will come and be promulgating 70,000 naira minimum wage.
So you feel NLC shouldn't have agreed to that amount? They
shouldn't have agreed to that at all. Now, looking at this, Nigeria have been dollarized. NLC should be asking to be paid in dollars.
Why should we be paid? Why should our workers be paid in dollars? That's going to cripple the naira.
Because the dollar has become the mainstay of the Nigerian economy.
Why would we pay Nigerian workers in dollars in Nigeria?
My dear, go and buy.
What happened to the naira?
My dear, go and buy a radio today. They will tell you dollar has changed. They won't tell you naira has changed.
That would even worsen the situation, you don't think?
That is it. That is why we should revert to our own economy. Let our economy thrive. That is why some people were actually asking that Nigeria should be a production economy rather than depending on things coming from the foreign land.
And strengthening the economy, one of the steps in strengthening the economy is actually making sure that we earn in naira and not in dollar.
That is how it is supposed to be.
Yes, and that's how it is now.
FS is now ruling Nigeria.
Let's look at the statement you made earlier about during your explanation and all of that. During talking about raiding the NLC, we had the police come out at that time to say they actually debunked the claim that they raided the NLC. That's on one side. Now, moving on to other things that you have said about the NLC. Now, we're looking at the workers directed to shut down the economy if Joe Ajaero is arrested. Now, you said Joe Ajaero should be handled with care. Remember that what the police are saying, even though it's an allegation now, they're accusing him of criminal offenses. And anybody who is accused of criminal offense, why would you say the person should be handled with care when the court has not told us if the person is guilty or not?
Now, looking at it now, why I say he should be handled with care, because we know how much Nigeria will lose if they shut the economy down. That's why I say he should be handled with care, because one, the police does not do a thorough investigation before they will go to make an arrest. It has happened to me over time too. So I'm speaking from experience. Now, if at the end of the day, they find out that things...
He's guilty. If they find out he's guilty.
He's guilty. Then the law catches up with him. But if he's not guilty, what happens? So these are the areas we need to actually look at, so that at least at the end of the day, we know that, yes, their nay is their nay, their yea is their yea. Because this is the only country where I can see where one can give money to police and say, go and arrest this person without any forensic, they'll just come make arrest. It has happened to me. Like I was telling you something this morning. If you must live in our society as a young man, you must have money in your pocket, carry your ATM, have a phone and a biro. Because anything can happen.
Anything like what?
Anything.
Anything like what can happen.
There was once I was going to buy ordinary bread. The next thing, I was whisked away by the Nigerian police around 10 in the night. What was my offense? They said I was loitering. I was loitering for going to buy bread. Thank God I was wearing a 3/4 short that had my ATM. I wanted to use an ATM to buy the bread. Do you know that I was kept in the police station till the next morning for an offense I did not commit. At the end of the day, they took money from me. They said bail is free, is it not? They said bail is free, but they collected money from me and they let me go. I was so weak that I could not even eat the bread anymore. So that is, so when we are talking about a global practice, they will say Nigeria police is the best east of the Niger. And I seldom ask myself, how were they recruited? How are their operations that this should be happening? So there should be agitations for a better Nigeria, for a better way of training the police, so that at least their practices can actually go down the drain with all and sundry.
Okay, but looking at what the police has done now, they sent in a letter to Joe Ajaero to come in for questioning, right?
Yeah.
That's on international best practice, according to what you have stated.
Now
they haven't gone against any law right now.
Now look at it. As at the time they went to raid the NLC building, was Ajaero there? No. If he was there, the story would have been upturned. It wouldn't have been this. If they had met him there, they would have whisked him away without anybody knowing, and it would come up in the news.
All right. What we can see from this story is that if the NLC shuts down the economy, it's going to bite so hard on every single Nigerian. Yes, I'd like to know why you're laughing over that. Because everybody's going to be affected at the end of the day. Even the workers who are not working will be affected. Because that's when you start hearing talks of the no work, no pay syndrome. And then you start hearing you have to pay us for when we're home. And a lot would happen in Nigeria if the economy is shut down. An economy that we are saying was a dead economy that the administration met, an economy that we're saying needs help and reviving at the moment, does not need this kind of action right now.
You know, in Nigeria, if you don't put fire into any spectrum, things won't work. They say desperate measure desires desperate action. And that is what we are getting. So to this effect, I believe that if Ajaero is held captive, they will shut down this economy. That was why I said earlier that they should look at things holistically, do a thorough investigation. Because outside Nigeria, I've been out of this country for a while and I know how their operations are. The police cannot come for you except they've done a thorough investigation. And prior to that time, they would have done their work so much so that if they count you liable for 5 counts, those 5 counts will be held against you.
Okay, so let me, from your analysis, it looks like you're on the side of the people who have said that, and the NLC who have said earlier when that letter was issued, that it could be that because of the statements they made after the protest towards the police, that's probably why the police is coming after Joe Ajaero now. That's their allegation. Mm-hmm. But then there are people on the other side who have stated that probably due to the criminal offenses that are being levied against him, that could be the reason he did not, or not him now, the NLC dissociated themselves from the protest in the first place. So are you also taking a look at that other angle of it? That's probably why we're saying that investigations should be made and we should also get to hear what the court has to say. But do you see a connection in that?
There is no connection whatsoever.
With dissociating themselves from the protest?
I'm telling you why. Because Ajaero is a target for them now.
Why would you think Ajaero would be a target?
Why won't I say so? Look at the manner he was treated in Imo State. The aftermath of that, Now, that's cumulating into what you just said now. It means that they can do anything to do away with him. Why? Because Ajaero is a man that cannot be bent at this crucial period that NLC needs a face.
Even though you've said he might not be have been that proactive.
Yes. Yes.
Isn't that like talking from two sides? You said he might not be so proactive, and then you say he's a man that cannot be bent. I'm trying to balance that.
When I say he's a man that cannot be bent, as in he cannot be bought over at this crucial stage now, because one, Nigerians are not beginning to believe in NLC anymore.
Who is trying to buy over the NLC?
When I say trying to buy over the NLC, like it had happened in the past, when Oshiomhole was the president of NLC, after a while, the Oshiomhole we knew was not the Oshiomhole that later became. Why? Because the Oshiomhole that was the face of NLC turned something else. When Oshiomhole was bought over, after a while, he started politicking with NLC. What was the fallout? How did it end? He later became the governor of Edo State.
Allegedly bought over, but I'm still trying to figure out who you think is trying to buy over the NLC.
For instance, let's take a look at the Port Harcourt scenario during the protest. Port Harcourt was regarded as the most peaceful of all the protests, is it not? What happened on the 7th day? On the 7th day, we now discovered that some of these youths had also gone somewhere, allegedly taking monies. I have clips to back my claims. And with all of that, these same youths that refused to collect money from the governor
for pure water.
For pure water and bread. And even the second day, NDDC brought money, they refused to collect in millions. A quantum of these youths went and collected monies and they started fighting themselves. And that is the NLC scenario. That is why I keep saying it is the Nigeria thing, because like if you go to North Africa, Egypt to be precise, if you know where they call Task Square, if they hit their bell, whether you are working a white collar job, whether you are a cow, all road leads to Task Square. That is where they make their pronouncement. There's something cynical about that bell. The moment they hear it, it's like ringing a bell to come to mosque. Everybody goes there, and a unanimous decision is taken. If they say we are embarking on this until there is a change, there is a change. But it's not same here in Nigeria, which ought not to be.
All right. Let's look at the next story now. That's it on the Labour Congress and Nigeria at the moment. Let's look at the next story now.